So John and I are both looking at our cell phones. John probably for a good reason, me for a not good reason. But I want to say hi to Jeff. Want to say hi to Kavi. Want to say hi to Jordan. Ronald especially, because Ronald's the reason why I was looking at my phone.
Ronald's the reason we're here.
We've got items for offering tonight, including one that has egg on my face. The other is for charity. But real quick, we're going to go into this, and hopefully I won't lose anybody. Before we get into this, though, if you would not mind, if you would be so kind, hit like, thumbs up, share. Sharing is caring. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, hearts are appreciated. You know what? Before I get into my joke, you know what? CJ, what's up, buddy? This is Nick with egg on his face. For some reason, Amy wanted to smash an egg on my face. I told her no. This is the egg on my face. So fortunately, I got ripped off, but I did not rip off a fan, for lack of a better way of saying it. So last week, we offered this X Factor page that said that I bought, drawn by Joe Quesada and inked by Al Milgram. Now, I bought this a while ago, put it away. I had asked somebody about it. They had said, oh, Joe did light pencils, then Jan penciled it, and Al inked it. But after it sold last week, it was pointed out to me that on the CGC boards, absolutely 100% pure Jan Dursema, no Quesada at all. Fortunately, we did not ship it, and grateful that this was called to my attention. So, egg on Nick's face.
There's only 2 lawsuits for Marvel, not anymore.
So anyway, but we had looked at Marvel.com, Comixology, Fandom, Marvel Fandom. All of them said Quesada. But the issue after this, issue 92, said that they mistakenly put Joe in there and it was just Jan.
I mean, guessing Joe owes Jan dinner and we're off the hook, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. So anyway, this will be available. And like I said, fortunately, even though it happened, I'm glad it only happened to me and not to anybody else. So everybody, thanks for being here. We're going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to read the joke for Ronald in a little bit, but we're going to do a few special things right away. So I offered this before. I will say this. If this does not go tonight, I will be buying this. This is the cover to Red Sonja #1. This was a commission that Brett Booth penciled, that a blue line was printed out, and then Scott Hanna inked, and we did turn this into a cover for Red Sonja #1, the Mirko Andolfo series that started in September. This is going to be best offer. We're going to run it through the night, and we're going to do a low point of entry. So this is a published cover. The pencils are blue line, but the inks are by the great Scott Hanna, and it is Brett Booth. We're going to start this at $300. If no one comes in at $300, I will be buying it at the end of this evening. But you are getting a Red Sonja #1 cover if you go for this. All the money will go to Sage Whiskers Rescue, a 501c. It is a charitable organization, and you will get a receipt for a tax deduction. So if you do acquire this, you'll also get a tax deduction. I'm going to do one thing because Nick's an old man and can't see everything. So I'm going to move and make the comments a little bigger. So Stevie B, House of Collectibles, how you doing, man? It's good to have you back in the house. How are you? So Samuel, good to see you. So, all right. What do we usually like to start with? I think we like to take care of Ronald. So
I was just going to say, Ronald is here.
What do we got on The Walking Dead? So Walking Dead 192, final issue. It's remarked with an old man Rick Grimes sketch by Ken Hazer. And, the amazing part about Walking Dead 192 was the way Image just surprised everybody. and they didn't tell anyone it was the last issue. They had 2 other issues solicited, and they just said, we told all our stories.
Well, you know what? This whole thing is surprises, though, right? You've heard Robert Kirkman talk about it. This got published. They didn't want to do a zombie book, and he said there's going to be aliens, and they were like, great.
And then around issue 6, they were like, where are the aliens?
Oh, I just told you that to keep the book published.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of fair.
Battle Pope. So how much are we doing this at? I assume it's one of our $89.99 books.
$89.99 tonight. It's $50.
So 5-star for 50. But since Walking Dead is full of surprises, I got a surprise for you. We're gonna make it $39.99.
Oh wow!
So we're gonna have a little bit more fun, a little bit more than 50% off. We want to just make this enjoyable for everybody. We're gonna do it for $39.99. And I would have said $40, but then John would have said, Nick, you got to throw in that extra penny. You know, pennies matter. Actually, by doing $39.99,
Ron wants it.
Huh?
He wants it.
Who?
Ronald.
And it's claimed. All right. So the only other, this is beautiful.
Rex and I talk about Ken Hazer all the time, probably too much on the show. One of the things we always talk about is we can never pick a favorite, or at least Rex can pick a favorite. This is my favorite thing that Ken Hazer has done. When
he's got a black or a red or a different color background.
Yeah, he's got a different color background, and this is, I think, if this is the one I think it is, it's a metallic ink, which artists have said is not the best thing to draw with.
So this is what we're going to do for this right now. I believe Alien came out in 1979. What do we have this in there for?
$50.
Okay, and can anybody confirm, was Alien 1979?
I think it is, yeah.
Because 77 was Star Wars. 76 was the 200-year bicentennial. What was 78? No clue. Taxi Driver? I don't know.
I was going to say, it's going to be like Taxi Driver or something.
So, Alien was 1979.
Damn, for somebody who never saw the movie, that's pretty good. So, this is what we're going to do. Since this was $39.99, we're going to make this $39.01 instead of $50. This way, if you get Walking Dead and Alien, it's $79. But either
it's nice.
So $39.01 instead of $50. So Joe Damon in the house. Hey Joe, how are you doing, man?
Somebody should buy this so I can talk about who has my favorite.
Did you see me with my egg on my face?
Uh-oh.
Thank God I didn't. You know, it would have been, I got a black shirt. The egg would have went everywhere. By the way, ever tell you how much I don't like eggs? You want to know why I don't like eggs?
I'm afraid to ask.
You've seen the Rocky movie, right?
Oh, where he has to drink the eggs?
Yeah, my mom made us drink a raw egg every morning. You have no idea what that does to your stomach. Neither did she back then. A raw egg every morning because she was convinced it was good for your blood.
I'll say this. I would do the raw egg every morning before my wife has me doing like a shot of apple cider vinegar when I wake up. And I got to tell you, man, it's like I'm holding on to the counter in the morning.
Good to use your virtual. Nick missed you last week. So, yeah, man. Hey, I missed you too, Joe. I saw Anthony's on Bill on Comic Art Live last night. He said he did a lot of good deals with you. I really would have loved to have seen you and Roberto, man. New York Comic Con, it was just such a weird feeling last weekend not going, but with everything going on and it just, you know, God, it really, really tugs at you that you missed the con, you know? So anyway, $39.01. All right, anybody can get it. Obviously, it's a great book, and Hannah read Sonia cover offer $350. Thank you, Mickey. That is awesome. Kavi is still exhausted from New York Comic Con. I can imagine, Kavi. I can imagine you were just going crazy from booth to booth looking at the original art. I love Kavi. He is so awesome. If you're ever going to watch any of the Comic Art Van interviews, they're all great. I mean, you know, the only thing I'll say is there are very few people that talk more than I do. So, but what I will tell you, and I'm not throwing this on Kavi, but Kavi had such a great interview, just, you know, really, really laid back guy. He loves original art. He's got his own YouTube channel. Kavi, throw up your YouTube channel so that Kyle can put it on Facebook and Twitter as well. This way, all of our platforms will run for you.
Yeah.
Toss that up, man. So one last time, 3901. For those that are coming in a little bit later, we have a Red Sonja cover, blue line pencils by Brett Booth. I'm sorry, pencils by Brett Booth that were printed blue line. He did it as a commission. It was inked by Scott Hanna, and it was published as the cover to Red Sonja #1. So this is the art that was used to be published for the cover for Red Sonja #1, the new Mirka and Dolfo series. Highest offer at $7.55 gets it, and the money will go to charity. You will pay Saved Whiskers Rescue directly, and you will get a tax-deductible receipt because it is a 501c. So, all right. So, so let's go back to the egg on my face.
No.
How much are we doing this now that we know that it's Jan? And Jan is a great artist. So,
this is X Factor 91, right?
yes, we got that part right. We got that part right last weekend today.
Did we get that right? I think the MSRP is $600.
Yeah.
And I think we have it at $499.
So $600 MSRP minus $101 egg on Nick's face discount.
That's a lot of eggs.
That's a lot of eggs.
Or one really big egg.
Listen, I can afford the eggs more than I can afford bacon these days. Somehow we got back to food. How is that?
It's always been.
So,
I've ruined it for.
I know I don't need to hold it up anymore, but I'm so used to holding it up at this point. You know.
Why don't you put that art down?
Okay. It is a beautiful page. This is the Peter David run. This is in the middle of the Joe Quesada run. You know, this is around the X-Men's
It's like X Factor
30th
sweet
anniversary.
Spot, right?
It is.
It's
It
like their
is.
sweet spot. We talk about this a lot. Rex and I talk about it a lot. Where never to bag on other creators, but they hit like a sweet spot. It's
Yeah.
like art.
Larry Stroman and Joe Quesada was a great sweet spot.
They kind of get in the groove.
Yeah.
And they really sort of hit their stride with storytelling, art, it all comes together. And this is as soon as I hear X Factor 91 in that range, that's my first thought. That's.
Now, Joe Quesada tells a great story. He said he could not believe he was going to work with Peter David on X Factor. He was so looking forward to it. Everything that Peter did on the Hulk, everything that he does, so much action, and all of a sudden, they're all in psychologist's office.
They're on the couch, and I remember
he's like,
there's a panel where they're looking out the window, and I'm thinking, imagine the artist is all psyched, and he's got to draw the panel where someone's looking out the window, like the shrink's over here.
Yeah.
I forget who it was, maybe Claire's just looking out the window. The whole session, she's looking out the window, and I'm like, yeah, that's.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Neil Mccullen is in the house. How are you, sir? So, what do we want to move on to? We should move on to Aparo.
I was going to say this.
Everybody knows how much I love Aparo. He is, to me, one of the greatest artists of all time. And just, he has 4 signature characters. Obviously, Batman, but then Phantom Stranger. Aquaman. And even though he did very little Spectre was a big one. But we have Batman tonight. And this is Brave and the Bold 135. And this is by Bob Haney, written by Bob Haney, art by Aparo. This is from, I can't remember the exact year, 1977. This is from 1977. And it's right around what some collectors consider the sweet spot of Aparo, like around 73.
His sweet spot is like 30 years.
40 years.
40 years long.
40 years.
But yes, you're absolutely right.
Right? No, but there was something magic in the early to mid 70s that fans really loved.
Some of those Batman covers, you had not seen. I mean, if it's your first day, it's fine. But let's just say you're in college and you've been reading Batman for 10 years, right? You're used to Batman looking a certain way. And then you get one of these amazing Aparo covers where, let's say he's in a mausoleum, right? And, he's looking at clues and there's something behind him that's going to get him. I mean, you just didn't see those kind of covers before.
Oh, and Apparel's the Phantom at Charlton. You got to remember that. I mean, I think that does come in a strong fifth. But there was, there were like 9 Spectre Adventure Comics covers that are highly sought after, and there are 6 Detective Comics 100-pagers that are highly sought after, and those are some of the highest threshold that people consider. Also, because those cover runs were so limited. But he's just such a genius. One thing we should do is probably tell everybody how much this is.
I was gonna say, you know what?
What do we got this at? Kyle, do you know?
It's $900.
So $900.
Every bit of
My Shake Shack showed up. I stopped paying attention.
Sorry.
What did he say?
He stopped paying attention when we were just going on and on about Two Apparel.
No, my Shake Shack showed up.
His Shake Shack. Oh, something important.
Something important showed up.
Yes. So Apparel, it just feels good to show it. And what did Jordan say? That is a good price. I'm looking at a different page. Yep. So, and look, we try not to talk. We usually talk about value and price only to give context, not because you should buy anything on speculation. I do not want you buying anything on speculation. But what I will say is Apparel, there was hardly any Apparel art for the longest time. Then about 3 or 4 years ago, 2 estates at the same time, coincidentally, consigned all their Apparel and Colon art. I think one person had Apparel and Colon, one person had Apparel and other art. And they consigned it all at once. And the value of Apparel pages, some pages went for $4,400 for panel pages. Since then, a lot of art came out. The prices started to level off to be back in the $600 to $800 range. But now the prices are going up. So being in the $900 range for an Apparel page is fantastic. So this is a beautiful page. And even though Batman's not in it, you do have Bruce, you do have the Metal Men, you do have Ruby Rose.
That would make me like it more because Batman is in it.
Yeah. The Ruby Rider. I'm sorry, Ruby Rider. Ruby Rose is another character. I guess Bob Haney was doing his alliteration out of Stan Lee.
Alliteration is like the
Robin,
platform.
Right?
Yep. It's like the platform of comics, alliteration.
It is. It is.
That and acronyms.
Here's something we've never done. Let's go to Sheena. So we've got this Roberto Castro cover of Sheena. This is the cover to Sheena number 2. This is the series that we put out. I think it was 5 years ago, going by memory, so around 2016. I think the interior artist was Maria Sinapo. So how much do we have the cover at right now?
It's $1,000 actually.
Like $750.
All right, so it's $1,000, but we're doing it for $750.
No, we should do it for $1,000. I really like Sheena. People should have to pay to.
Stop. So this is a published cover, Sheena series from Dynamite, Roberto Castro, issue number 2, and it's just beautifully drawn. Obviously, Roberto, great artist, an artist we love working with. We've got him working on more Vampirella, more Red Sonja covers. The fans really do appreciate everything he puts into it. And he's just, the thing about Roberto, it's funny, he's been drawing for over 35 years. I mean, he was drawing Conan at Marvel when Marvel had Conan in the 80s.
Wow. I did not realize he'd been drawing that long. It doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, I mean, I might be wrong about, the 80s, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say,
years.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, but he's got that little bit of Mark Silvestri in him, I mean, he gets that little, it's a shame he really isn't more popular than he is. He really should get more credit. He's just a fantastic draftsman. His execution is great. And if you can afford $750 for a cover, this is a good cover to get. Notice I'm putting number 2 up for sale, not number 1.
I know where number 1 is.
A lot of people know this, not everybody. A lot of the art that's up here is my personal art. And the reason why I bring my personal art on the air is because it's easier for me to speak excitedly about it. I mean, I love art, period. It's one of my favorite pastimes. The community is out of this world. I feel so close to so many people in the community. even people I've never met or who I may have just emailed with or talked to via Facebook. Kavi, Ruben, David, Jordan. The list goes on and on. And even though I don't like selling my art, it is easier for me to talk about the art. And if I have art that I am offering for sale that someone loves, then I feel like I'm helping to grow the audience. And hopefully we're bringing more people who have never bought original art into this community to buy art and to be a part of this community. So long way around of saying,
Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
Can I share a story about how awesome the art community is? And I'm
Absolutely.
Sure.
Go for
I'm
it.
at New York Comic Con, and the first familiar face I see that isn't the people I went with was Spencer Beck. Like, the first familiar face, and he's showing me, okay, so over here is Alexander, and over here is this other guy, and he's showing me where to go to look for art at New York Comic Con, rather than selling me the art he had sitting in front of him.
Nice.
Which is what I wanted. But Spencer's such a good guy, and the art community is just so much. Everybody was so cool at New York. I was very pleased to be part of this community at that moment.
It's a great community to be part of, and Spencer's great. I mean, everybody's great. So, I mean, the only thing I was going to say is, although I am keeping the cover to number 1.
So I was going to say, spoiler alert: cover number 1 isn't going to be out here.
That's the one that's not going. All right. Let's go to something far more modern. And here is an artist that this is the only piece of art we've ever had. This is Ultimate 6 Volume 1. Trevor Harshen, Danny Mickey Inks. What are we offering this one at?
$550.
All right. Well, $550 is what's the MSRP?
$700.
All right. So $550 is a weird number. We'll do $499 on this. So this is from Ultimate 6. Everything Sinister 6 is starting to heat up a little bit with the movie coming out and people speculating that the Sinister 6 will be there, plus all the other renditions of Dr. Octopus, the Marvel villains, potentially other Spider-Men, everything that's happening with Doctor Strange being Spider-Man. This is probably good timing for some beautiful, beautiful Trevor Harshen art. Again, an artist we don't have much of, mostly because
He doesn't do a lot, does he?
He doesn't do a lot. And what I will say is the reason why we don't have a lot of his art is because this is the only Trevor Harshen art that I own. So, but I mean, again, looking through the artwork, if it could mean something more to someone, then I'm happy to bring it out. Again, $4.99. And what year is this from? Amy, do you know what year it's from? Ultimate 6?
2003.
Wow. So this is almost 19 years old. So $4.99 for a piece of artwork that's almost 19 years old. And you have Dr. Octopus, and I think it might be Sandman, but I'm not sure. I have not read the comic in a long, long time. Of course, it could be Norman Osborn, which is probably who it is. If I said Sandman, it's probably Osborn.
You have the same haircut.
Yep. Hey, Robbie from Pop Culture Philosopher. How
Hey,
are
Robbie.
you? And let's see, what's Ronald say? I'm always proud to be part of the art collecting community, but my wife not so much. But you bought her that statue. You bought her that statue. So, anyway, all right, $4.99. How much time do we have before the break?
Couple minutes.
3 minutes.
All right, so the big one. Let's go with the most prestigious on some level pieces of art that we have tonight. Definitely one of the most expensive pieces of art we've ever had. We have Wolverine #1, a la Age of Apocalypse, Steve McNiven, Jay Leistein. I actually bought this from Anthony Snyder after Dueling Dealers. He had it on the air, and then a couple weeks later he came down here and he talked me into it, and I do love it. It's beautiful. It's Steve and Greg doing their best Barry Windsor Smith. I mean, they're not doing Barry Windsor Smith like they're ripping him off, but they are so inspired. And it is just beautiful, beautiful artwork by Steve. And Jay just did a great job inking it. I believe this is going to be $10,000. So this may be the most expensive piece of art we've ever had. It is a cover, and it is beautiful. You can see it right there, just how gorgeous it is. Just real quick, everybody, if you have not done so yet, if you wouldn't mind, please hit that thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, share. Sharing is caring. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, hearts are appreciated, and you can share there as well. Help us spread the word.
I was just saying, hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
So that you know when we're, people try to remember, but
Yeah.
I know a lot of times when my phone shoots me a notification, I'm like, oh.
Or if you're like me, you have 12 notification bells for 12 different things, and you're like, oh, here we go. Which one's this?
It's the old rubber band on your wrist. What's this here for?
Right. I need another rubber. I need another string to tell me what this string's for.
Exactly.
So it's a beautiful, beautiful page. I know that I don't need to do this, but hey, man, Zarabinsky Pulp, how are you, sir? So I don't want to lose too much time. You know what? I want to tell the joke that our boy sent us, Ron. But there's a part of me that says, you know what? There's not enough time. You still have a lot of art, Nick. A whole lot of art. Quick reminder before we go to break. We have a Red Sonja published cover. This was a commission that Brett Booth did, that the blue lines were printed. Scott Hanna inked over blue lines, and it was published as a cover to Red Sonja #1. Right now, I believe the top offer is $350. Top offer at $755 in 25 minutes will be the person who gets this. You will be paying Saved Whiskers Rescue, a animal rescue charity, directly, and you will get a tax-deductible receipt for the charity because they are a 501c. So we're at $350, and at $755, top offer takes it. So, and guess what's taken off the table? If it didn't get a top offer, I was getting it. I was going to get it for $250. I guess that's not going to happen. So
next week's show is Nick buys original art.
Nick buys original art. So we'll be back in a few minutes after the break, and we will have more art to show.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
Hi, I'm Brian Haberlin, and I want to tell you a little bit about my new book coming out in October, Hellcop. Hellcop's been rattling around my brain for decades. When I launched Avalon Comics with Whilce Portacio, Hellcop was one of the initial launches, but I was wearing a lot of hats back then, So I gave over the reins to Joe Casey and Gilbert Monsanto, and they did a great job, but it was my baby. If you look at sketchbooks I've done over the years, there's Hellcops throughout. There are pages started, stories started. So let me tell you a little bit about the story. Discovering a whole new world that had only previously existed in our collective imaginations. A tale of adventure, betrayal. Hell's just another place, another planet with native creatures most on Earth would call monsters. And humans that have been there as long as they've been here. Doctors, lawyers, maybe too many lawyers. Please join me in October for the release of Hellcop and the Hellcop 3D Halloween special. Hey, I want to say thanks for watching, and I really hope you can go and ask your retailer to pick up Hellcop for October. There's going to be a 3D version with 3D glasses and the whole 9 yards, and the regular version, of course, too, with some pretty fun covers. Thank you for your attention, your support, as always, and hope you guys have a great day.
Where's the Sky Captain book?
Wasn't it on your desk?
In my car.
It's
It's in my car.
Hey Nick, I'm gonna go get $10. What's that under your arm? What are you talking about, Nick? That's just a shadow.
Speaking of which, there should be more shadow.
You know, actually, I have some shadow art that I will not be bringing on the air.
Oh,
I love that Howard Chaykin's Shadow series. It is, you know,
the one where he sort of like he brings him to like the modern.
Yeah. The
Okay.
1986 Shadows, 84, 85, 86, or somewhere around there. I mean, come on. Who but Howard Chaykin can write a shadow story that for 21 pages, it's every person that's been involved with the shadow plus Harry's daughter, who, of course, in issue 2, the shadow, well, get close. But
The shadows are regulars. Man.
exactly. But he shows up on the last page. Hello, Margot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, classic, the last page. And I'll always remember Amazing Heroes. Howard Chaykin did an interview where they asked him and they said, what made you want to do the shadow? And he goes, well, what'd you expect me to do, Amazing Man? And I was just like, oh, ouch, 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 ouch. But I have a beautiful shadow page that I got from Jordan. So thank you, Jordan. Love the page. Got some really, really cool art from Jordan. You know, Jordan's one of the nicest guys in our hobby.
Nice.
So every time you see him get something cool, it's
a win.
it's like, oh my God, thank God good things happen to good people, you know? So it's always been a plus. And again, as I always say, this community is fantastic. So I'm just happy to be a part of it. Let's move on. We spoke about very little art, so we need to move on to some art. Ultimate X-Men 67, page 14. Tom Rainey, Scott Hanna. What do we got this bad boy at?
The MSRP is $300, but you're probably going to do something like say it's $196.30 for
Because of the year X-Men first came out.
Came out.
So this is a really cool page, and you know, considering everything that's going on right now, with Jonathan Kent, with Tim Drake, with everything, you know, Robert Kirkman was ahead of that time. You know, he really, really was ahead of it. He was doing this back in 2006, you know, and it's great because
it's like
you lay the brickwork for other people down the road.
The big two kind of catch up.
Exactly.
I don't mean that in a negative way.
Yeah.
But you've got two big publishers, and then you've got
Marvel started with the Ultimates, you know, and you know, as the industry grows, and so, but this is a great page. and under $200. It's just an incredible value for something that's from 2006. It's already 15 years old, and the old man Nick needs to look closely to see what Ronald said. I have an artist working on a watercolor Shadow and Green Hornet commission right now. Awesome, Ronald.
Awesome. Make sure you post that when we say it.
Yeah. Oh, Ronald will email it to me. It's great. I get lots of texts and emails from Ronald. Some of them are his jokes, which are hysterical. You know, my favorite is still the one with the FBI agent on the farm. That one is still my favorite. So, short version, and Rex already says I butcher this. FBI agent shows up on the farm and says, I need to inspect, there's a rumor that you have drugs. I need to inspect your farm. Farmer goes, okay, but whatever you do not go into that field over there. And the FBI agent whips out his badge and goes, sir, do you see my badge? This says I can do whatever I want. If you're telling me not to go there, I think that's the first place I should look. So why don't you go back to doing what you were doing, and I'll come back to talk to you when I'm ready. I'm totally like butchering this story, right? So 10 minutes later, you hear all this noise. You hear the FBI agent screaming. There's a bull chasing him, and the farmer drops his hay thing, right? The hay fork, because he was putting, and he goes to the fence and he goes, "Show him your FBI badge. Show him." So anyway, Ronald, love you, man. Thank you for always being a part of this. So this is Tom Rainey, Scott Hanna, $196.30, usually $300. Then we have Avengers 79, page 4. This is Sean Chen with Tom Simmons inks. And look, this could not be better considering the timing of everything that's happening with Hawkeye and what happened with WandaVision and everything else. But this is, you've got She-Hulk trying to console Lay's children's. You've got the tensions erupting, Yellow Jacket and the Wasp. So much going on. And the amazing part about looking at this by Sean Chen is you look at the back where he did the thumbnails.
Yeah.
So how much do we have this at?
I think this is, let me check. I think this is $300.
300 period or 300 plus an introductory price?
Look.
Get on the game.
I'm sorry, it's
if
MSRP.
huh?
yeah, MSRP.
$195.
$195, so under $200. John, if you want to stop being an intern and become an employee, we gotta get going over here.
There's only one seat I'm interested in sitting in, sir, and it's not this one.
So $195. It is a beautiful page. It is a lovely, lovely, lovely page. So we have that. Let's move
It's
on.
harder, I think, to make a page engaging when it's like this. I would think it's easier as an artist. When you've got the whole punching a hole through a monster's chest, it's easier to kind of really electrify the page than when you have these sort of, expositional conversation pages. You know what I mean? Because you still want to keep the action going, but there's not really any action.
Right. Now, if Dave were here, if our library kid were here, and I don't know if he's here or not.
Where is Library Kid?
Library kid, where you at?
He was posting stuff on Instagram earlier today.
He's always posting on Instagram.
He is.
We have a Booster Gold page, issue 3, page 1, splash. This was actually the Jeff Katz run. Art by Dan Jurgens and Norm Ratmund. What do we got this bad boy at?
The MSRP is $800. We have it at $600.
Tell you what, for tonight, because we're having fun and because JD's not here, because JD charges us $5 every time we change a price, Kyle's cooler than that.
I know.
Kyle is $5.
JD is like a side hustle going.
Kyle will just take you off screen.
What?
Kyle will just take you off screen.
Well, that's okay. That'll save people from looking at a facha brute.
That's fair.
So we're gonna make this a 5-star splash, like a 5-star Frog Splash.
Like 5-star frog splash.
We're gonna make this a 5-star
It's the Eddie
splash.
Guerrero special.
Exactly. Let's stop at that when it comes to Eddie Guerrero specials. Everything else we should stay out of. Man, I'll never forget, man. I was actually in La Jolla. I was driving to La Jolla from LA. I had a meeting in LA and I was driving. I had meetings with Wildstorm the next day. And literally I was listening on the radio and it was like really bad fog. And I'm like driving like this is not good. Like I should not be driving through Long Beach or whatever it is from LA to San Diego. I'm like, I should not be driving. And then all of a sudden you hear about Eddie Guerrero's passing. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
I think that's been, 17, 15 years now?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time. You don't forget. I'll tell you why people have that reaction, right? Ever since the WWE Network or Peacock or whatever, everybody watches matches from different eras.
Right.
So it's like you literally are watching him and you see him like young and healthy and peak his powers. And then somebody will remind you, oh, by the way,
Samuel said Nick's Italian is beautiful. You're too
Hey,
kind.
but we changed the price and never said what the price is.
500. 5-star for 500. So we're gonna drop it by $100. And if Kyle charges $5, then it's $505. But I think Kyle's cooler than that.
It's true.
This is beautiful, though. I mean, this is really, really beautiful. It's the death of Booster Gold, quote unquote. This is a series with Jonah Hex in it. It's just a lot of fun, and it's a great splash. And speaking of how old this is 14 years old. It's from 2007.
I tell people if you don't enjoy a book like Booster Gold, comics might not necessarily be for you. You know what I mean? It's sort of, you know what I mean? Booster Gold sometimes is more serious. There's all these weird like time travel cables and stuff like that. It's just fun. It's just flat out fun. And
the extra plus is when you've got the creator of the character still working on it, still having joy in working on it. Yeah. I mean, look, Booster Gold is one of the successful creations of the 80s from Marvel or DC that's still around today.
You know what? That's a great point. Not to be harsh, but a lot of that stuff they sort of dropped out there.
Arax, Son of Thunder, Blue Devil, one of my favorites. You never see anymore. I mean, you saw him in the Secret Six or whatever.
You just don't see him that much.
Yeah.
I mean, these are things that didn't.
Yeah, but Booster resonated. Booster stuck around. So we've got this. Let's see. What did Steve say? To polish his delivery, maybe Nick needs to tell the jokes in Italian.
Oh no!
You don't even want me to go there. All right, so $500. Dan Jurgens, it is beautiful. Let's do some Bagley. Double page spread.
Oh, wow.
You've got Flash on the floor. You've got Obsidian. You've got Dr. Midnight. You've got Dr. Fate. This is such a cool double page spread. I'm not even going to lift it. I don't need to. This is from not 1990s. This is from 2010.
It's JSA, right?
Yeah, the 3-year stint where Mark Bagley was not exclusive to Marvel. It was only 3 years.
Marvel fixed that really fast.
Marvel fixed that.
Hey, I have this at $4.99. That's wrong, right?
How much is this?
$4.99. That seems wrong for this page. It seems like,
I was going to say it's just $4.99.
Add another
$9. It is $4.99. I wanted to bring this in at a blockbuster price.
It's not $49.99, like $5,000.
No, it's
because that seems more reasonable.
It's $499. Again, this is one of the blockbuster pieces that I wanted to bring. I wanted to bring a great value. When you in 10 years, 20 years down the line, you're going to be sitting there going, oh man, I got this great Mark Bagley Ultimate Spider-Man art. He had this little run of DC, and I don't have any of it. So, and look, it's not for everybody. Obviously, he's worked on Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. Mark's drawn everything: the FF, the Hulk, the Avengers, the X-Men. His signature book will always be Spider-Man, but to get a few other characters is great. So this is Andrew Hennessy art, and I love Andrew Hennessy inking.
Jordan's going to take this one.
Jordan, you claimed it. You got it.
Jordan beat me to the punch.
JLA. So this is $4.99. It is not a mistake, and if it is, Nick stuck with it.
There's some serious, like creator cred dating all the way back to when this was like All-Star Squadron.
Yeah.
And Infinity Incorporated. You kind of see some of the people that worked on that book.
Yeah.
You know, like you look at a random issue of Infinity Incorporated, and you see like Todd McFarlane art in there, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And it's almost like they created these stories. I guess that's like a Roy Thomas thing. They created this and said, well, we'll put like the new people on it and see how they do. Yeah. And then one by one, these people go on to be.
I was actually looking at an interview with Todd where he was working on Infinity Inc. You know, he was doing the backup in Coyote, and then his complete first issue of Coyote, he said, I don't know how Archie Goodwin sold Art Nichols on this, but he said to Art Nichols, we don't like what you drew. Todd's going to draw it, but would you mind inking him? So they got rid of the issue he drew, had Todd pencil, and then Todd started doing All-Star Squadron, and then he was doing all the playing cards and all the dice and everything. Yep. And when he went to Marvel, they said no playing cards or dice. So anyway,
he did okay.
Red Sonja #1 cover, Brett Booth pencils. This was a commission that was then printed out as a blue line that Scott had to ink. This is the cover to Red Sonja #1 by Brett Booth, the series that just hit in September by Mirka and Dolfo. And this is all the money's going to charity. Best offer at $7.55, which we're getting close to.
Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of time left for people that want to throw in.
Yeah. All the money will go to Save Whiskers Rescue. It is a 501c. You will get a tax-deductible receipt so that you save money on your taxes. And considering we're in October, it's a good time to, if you have it, you get to have a few wins. You get to get a beautiful piece of artwork that is a cover to a comic, and you get to help a charity. So Save Whiskers Rescue.
It's win-win, right?
It's win-win. All right. We already did my egg on my face, so we don't need to do that again. Let's move to Dale Eaglesham. We're gonna have to boogie a little. I love Dale. He's killing it right now on the Captain America series that he's drawing. Here is from 2004 Firestorm, Volume 3, Issue 11, Page 9. This, how much is this?
The MSRP is $300, and we have it at $195.
So $195. It's really, really cool. I don't want to say it's just 3 panels. At the end of the day, it's really 3 panels. I don't want to say half a page splash because
is there a 3rd page splash?
No. I mean, it's a really great page. $195, incredible value. And again, saying before that Andrew Hennessy, Wade Grawbadger, Rick Magyar are some of my favorite Mark Bagley inkers. I think that Wade Von Grawbadger inking Dale Eaglesham is beautiful. I mean, if you look, I don't know if I'm going to try and bring it closer just because if you look at, I can't get it any closer, but if you look at the ink lines there, it almost feels a little bit like a Terry Dodson ink finish. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just my personal thing.
A piece like that at that price is just
$195.
$195. I mean,
if you enjoy it, it is good value. Let's see. We're gonna do the Amazing Heroes. This is probably the second priciest artwork we've ever had. Keith Pollard. This was inked by Kim DeMulder. This is from the classic series from 1989, and the cover to Amazing Heroes. This was actually due April 1st. How do you like that? So you've got the Contessa here. It's just, check it out. You can see it on the screen better. It is drop dead gorgeous. What are we doing this one at?
I think this one's $5, sir. Yeah, I think this one's $5,000.
$47.50.
$47.50.
All right, so it's $5,000. Bring it down to $47.50. It's beautiful. I just wanted to bring something different on the air. This is obviously not for everybody. By the way, on this and the Wolverine, if someone were interested in buying it, I would do terms, something down. And if you can pay it by Christmas, then that'll be great. If you need it a little bit longer, happy to work with you. But just a great, great, great cover to an incredible series from 1989. This was the Square Bound series, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
I think so.
Larry Hama wrote it. Yeah, this was the.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
This was the holy free holies. Larry took a Shield story and turned all the characters into G.I. Joe and made Hasbro tens of millions of dollars. Let's see if we can do that with Shield now. So this was a great run. I always loved it. It's so influenced by Steranko, this cover. When you look at the Hydra logo there and you look at the Contessa, not only her headshot under Nick Fury's left arm, but also at the bottom with the machine gun. It's just really, really great. So, obviously I'm biased. Hey, as we're getting close to 7:55, I think we got, 1 minute left. Please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, still share, and get the word out. All right, 7:55, we're down to the 7:54, we're down to the last minute. Cover, Red Sonja #1. Brett Booth, Blue Lines, inks by Scott Hanna, actual published cover. $350 is the highest offer right now. Top offer in 1 minute will be able to not only have the original art to a Red Sonja #1, but will also be helping a charity and will be getting a tax-deductible receipt for a 501c. So we're down, what are we at, 350? Is that where we're at?
Yep.
All right, we've got about 40 seconds left. In 40 seconds, unless anyone comes in higher than 350, this is sold for $350. And I want to thank everybody for being a part of this. And whoever wins this, obviously, the greatest thanks. And as I'm talking, we're down to 30 seconds.
I want the internet to know I'm literally sitting on my hands right now.
I want to know how he's eating Shake Shack then.
Yeah,
it's
really.
gone, John. I inhaled it.
He inhaled it.
Oh, okay.
All right, 20 seconds, $350. This is good. I think this is going to go for $350, which is great. I mean, it's a steal of a cover.
Like
15
right?
seconds. It's a steal for a cover, but at the same time, it's the. By the way, I want to thank Scott Hanna and Spencer Beck. They donated this. I want to be clear. This was donated by Scott Hanna and Spencer Beck. We're down to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Oh, did somebody just text you a
5,
offer?
4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, this has been sold for $350. And yes, it's my friend who absolutely positively refuses to post on the show.
Yeah.
He was like, he's so embarrassed. He is so embarrassed that he doesn't want to post on the show. It's like nobody can see you. By the way, who won this for $350?
I'm looking.
Mickey.
We had an offer for $400 right after you said time.
Sorry, Hanukkah. Mickey beat you to it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's really generous that you came in at the 400. Nice. And Mickey, congratulations. You have a beautiful piece of art. What'll happen is if you don't mind, send the $350 to savedwhiskers@AOL.com. And on Monday, Amy will give you the info. Do a submission form. Kyle can put the submission there. We'll charge you the shipping on Monday. I don't know where you live. If you're in the continental U.S., it's $25. Canada, $41. Outside of the continental U.S. or Canada, Amy will get you the info. But hit a submission, and we will take care of it. Hanukkah, I really...
You just logged in and put an offer in. I like that.
Oh, man. Thank you, sir. But you know what? The good vibes are appreciated.
Yeah.
They're really appreciated.
And not as a spoiler alert, but I'm pretty sure that, it'll have, there'll be more art offered at some point for charity.
Yeah, there will be.
It's-
There will be. We're not going to get to the rest of the art. We'll just do a quick recap. We have the Alien right now left. This is at $39.01. Normally $89.99. You know what'd be funny? If that's actually my friend who was busy trying to do a fake name, because he has really. This is like the third show that he's done this to us.
I have a friend who watches this on Twitter and then messages me stuff to answer and say on the show, and I'm like, you could just come into the room,
Right, where everybody can see
everybody
you.
can see your. No, he just kind of lurks on Twitter and watches it. Oh, hey, and I see my phone and someone's asking questions.
All right, so real quick, the Firestorm was $195. The Amazing Heroes we just did at $47.50. The Wolverine is $10,000. Again, the Wolverine. Any piece, if you need time, let me know. We'll work with you. The Booster Gold we brought down to $500. Let's see. We had the Avengers at how much? I need you on top of this, my friend. I'm not remembering any of it.
Boy,
$195.
$195. We have the X Factor at, what did we do the X Factor at? The egg on Nick's face?
the egg on Nick's face, I think was $4.99.
$4.99.
Did you start messing around and say
No, not that
$4.95 or
one.
what?
No. And the trust me, I paid a lot more than that thinking it was Casada. Ultimate X-Men was $196.30. We decided Ultimate 6 would drop down to $4.99. We did Sheena cover to number 2 at $7.50. Hit the thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, thank you, sir. And we got 62 left blues. Thumbs up, man. Hey, buddy. And then we got to the Jim Aparo. There's a few pieces we'll bring back next week. The Jim Aparo Brave and the Bold, $900. I want to thank everybody for coming in. We've got some great shows coming up. We have Nancy McCann of Comics Unlimited in Tennessee. We've got a really good weekend. Lots of content with Dan Wickline and the others on Saturday. Sunday is Fat Jack's Latchkey Manifesto at 6 o'clock. Aaron at a comic shop at 8 o'clock. And on Monday, John will be back with the smarter, better-looking person, Rex Wang, and you won't have to look at me anymore. So, everybody, thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend. Mickey, Jordan, thank you so much for being a part of this. You guys rock, and we'll catch up soon. Take care, everybody.